What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we hide those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So, welcome to officially episode 500. So, it finally happened. I've been talking about it for weeks. And even though we do 4 at a time, I just can't count, right? So finally, when I went to go put the last episode in, it was like $4.99. I was like, oh, we did it. So this will be 500. And with that being said, so you got all new content for the holidays. So hopefully everybody enjoyed their holiday break. We're recording this before the holidays, a couple days after all of the holiday episodes, right? They're currently running. So you'll see this after all that. However, I just didn't want to gap the entire week. It was going to be throwbacks of good content, right? We have 500 episodes now to go back to the archives and show out. But I also want to do something fresh as well for that week. Just for all those listeners who are, pay attention to us on an ongoing basis. So we greatly appreciate that, put something together. So it won't really be cyber related, but there's a lot of good cyber stuff. It's crazy, right? Like, I sent you a couple articles. You got CISOs attacking their own networks for money. It's wild out there. So we'll talk about that the following week. Hopefully, there'll be a little bit more of information on that one because it's just crazy. As well as I had another one that I tossed in there. Or no, it was Chris. Chris tossed in the cloud solution for the secure cloud for DoD. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But we'll talk about that next week, unless something else crazy happens. Then we'll talk about that. But we just want to do another weekly rundown for you guys, so you have something good to lead you into the post-holiday break, and then you'll have so this will go out on Monday, then Tuesday and Wednesday will be topics of some sort, or discussions or interviews or whatever I pick out the archives. All the way, so Tuesday through Friday, all stuff. But Monday, for the first time ever, will be the weekly rundown. So with that being said, Shannon, how was the past couple of days?
It was actually pretty good. I actually took in a couple things, man. So like, how Max always has those banging DC animations, man. And I watched a couple of them. One of them better than the other. I watched one. It was called was it Justice League War World? Have you seen this one?
No, I haven't seen that.
War World. It was okay. It's a little. This one I think would be up your alley because of how the story goes.
War World. That sounds like a Marvel. Marvel has that. Battle World. Is it similar?
No, it was War World. It was Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman.
Okay, yeah, because the Marvel version is all the incursions happen. So Dr. Doom makes a planet made of different dimensions or whatever. They duke it out to see who's going to be the true reality. Something like that. I don't know. I was a kid.
This is called War World, and it's got a weird type thing to it. So it's like the stories, it's different time frames as it goes on through it. So it's like 3 different time frames, but then like you'll have one of the heroes is doing something, and then they'll end up in the next one with another hero added in, and another. It just seems so up your alley, man. Like after I watched
a Tarantino flick.
Oh no, if it was Tarantino, I would have stopped it. If it was like Tarantino, I'd have been like, no, I'm not watching this. No more spaghetti westerns for me. Although one of the stories was a western, so
I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, it does sound like it's up my alley, actually.
Yeah. I think you'll like it. It was just a little weird for me, but I'm always down for their animations because like when they do their animations they put on Max, I mean, they don't mind blood, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Like that's their best content. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold you. DC's best content is their animated stuff. By far. Like but yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna add that one to my list because I've been on Max Kick as well. So that's interesting. Like I guess they're firing all cylinders the past couple of weeks.
Well, when you were talking about Blue Beetle before I watched it, like I went on there and then I noticed, and I don't go on there all the time, right? Mm-hmm. I noticed there was a lot of the DC animation stuff. I was like, I gotta get in on some of this, man, because I know I like it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, let me add to my list. So I threw a couple on there when I was searching for Blue Beetle, because Blue Beetle was right at the top, right? Like one of the first ones. But I was like, just go down and take a look. It was pretty good. The other one I watched was it was Batman Soul of the Dragon. Have you seen that one?
No.
Okay.
That's like Batman Samurai.
Yeah, so almost, right? Almost. So like it was a lot more kung fu because
Oh,
There's
okay.
a guy, Richard Dragon. So apparently it's a real comic book character, Richard Dragon. But this dude is like Bruce Lee incarnate, man. Like
Okay.
he does the swipe on the face and everything. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah. But his name is Richard Dragon. And that was a good one too. It was and I noticed this a little bit too. Like they'll set their time frames back in like the 60s and 70s when they do
Yeah.
some of the Batman stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's very seldom is it like modern times, you know. It can be, but I'm noticing
Right.
that a lot more. They'll go back in time with the Batman stuff. You know what I mean? They went back to samurai times with the one. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Yeah.
um,
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. So hopefully, Batman got my hands put on him for a little bit at least. Like,
so here's the thing. So the way this one is, I'm gonna try not to give too much of it away. And that one I think was one that was like 2 years old. The other one, the War World one, was a new one. It was 2023, but this one was 2021. Uh,
okay.
so it's him, like as he starts to gain more skills. So he goes
Okay.
somewhere, and there's other people there. And when you see the other people, you're like, I know what that's from. If you watch Bruce Lee movies,
Right.
you're gonna pick up on what that's from.
Okay.
You're gonna pick up on
Gotcha.
what that's from. You're gonna pick up on what that like you'll see it and you'll be like, oh man, I know. Like the characters, the way they're drawn and everything, you're like, that
Right.
so and so. That's so and so.
Okay. Yeah. I
So
like the homage. Yeah.
yeah,
That's gonna be pretty cool.
yeah. That one was a good one. I like that one better than the other one. But yeah, Soul of the Dragon, because the guy's name
Oh,
is Richard
Dragon.
Dragon. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a Batman. When Batman's your favorite DC character, right? So like
Yeah.
you can't go wrong with
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. By far.
Yeah.
Like the top 10, nine of them are Batman. Just pick different variations of Batman. I'm not a DC guy. I don't know. I wish I was because Blue Beetle, like everybody loves him. I'm just like, man. We talked about that though.
I like it. Yeah, for sure, for sure. But
Like,
those are the two I've taken in the last couple of days that I would suggest to people because like even with the one I didn't really like a lot of people I know like that style of directing and movie making. You know what I mean? Where one
right.
leads into another one, and at the end it all makes sense, right?
Okay.
Only things are going the way they are. You know?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely down for it. I'm gonna put both of them on my list. Because we've been watching on Max. I don't know if you I don't think this is for you, but it's also animated. It's called Scavenger Reign. So Scavenger Reign is an animated joint and it feels like an Aeon Flux or Max Headroom or like any of those cartoons that MTV made. They were like real good animations, real good story, but like everything's like wet and gross. That's that's basically like this entire TV show.
I liked Aeon Flux.
Did you?
I did. I did.
Oh, you might like you
That
you
was my
may. I would say give it it's very Aeon Flux to me. I
yeah.
would say give it an episode or two. I'm like on five or something like that. And just
Okay.
the way because they're stranded basically is the premise. Like you watch the trailer, not giving anything away, but they're stranded on the planet that's alien, and it's very alien. Like just like everything they draw is super interesting, but everything is wet and nasty. Like like they don't mind killing. They don't mind being like killing off characters. They don't mind killing like anything that moves. Basically, is up for grabs, and just you get to see like the food chain and some interesting stuff out of it. But it's very Aeon Flux to me anyway. So you
Okay.
may like it.
Yeah.
Then I didn't think you liked that TV show. It's because everything's just I don't know. Aeon Flux was just it was ahead of its time. Like
Yeah.
it was
For sure.
very 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 weird.
There was nothing like it on TV at the time. I do
Yeah.
remember that, man. Like even the animation style was just, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
was, oh man, I like that. Super skinny and like the running with the shirt.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So you may like this. I would say give it at least two episodes. Give it two episodes, see if you like it.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
on five going on six. Like I just went on to like a marathon. I watched one episode one day and then I watched four more episodes the next day. So I really enjoyed that one. And then what was the other thing? Oh, I wanted to talk about the Marvels. That was the other thing I forgot. Because like we were going to discuss it, and I completely blanked on that I had seen it. Uh Not bad. I would give it an eight. I would give it an eight. I was very down on it. I was just like, where is Marvel going? I still know where they're going, but I know a little bit more now than I knew before, and it was cool seeing the TV show characters jump right into the big screen. Like there was really no Like I talked to Dr. Bert Miller was Thursday. So if you're watching this in current time, then previous Thursday would be Dr. Bert Miller. And like I kind of talked about it a little bit where I was just like, it wasn't bad. It's just they're back to building again. And that's the part that's like we asked for this. We asked for them to do these big things with Marvel and what have you. And it takes time to get another snap event. And they're building towards something big. But I just don't feel like waiting. I'm not going to I don't want to wait another 10 years. You know what I mean? Like I just feel as though that buildup was it was perfect. I kind of wish they had ended it there because now they have to start up again. The engine has to start back up, and they're getting to all this cool stuff, but it takes time to get there, or else you're gonna have another Justice League.
Do you think you just feel that way because of the characters? Like the characters that they had in the first, like leading up to Avengers, were the ones you grew up with, right? So do you think maybe that's why, like the ones they're doing now are
Yeah,
lesser known, right? But you like B Team, you like B Team stuff though.
B team stuff has grown on me, but I would argue that a lot of the characters they used to build the current Marvel the MCU were kind of B tier, right? Like Iron Man was not as big as he is now. Like to Robert Downey Jr. embodied the character, Iron Man was not A tier character.
Captain
Or
America,
Hawkeye. Hawkeye
like
was not A tier character. Uh, Loki, like he was brought up from time to time, right? The God of Mischief or whatever, but like he became like iconic now. Who else?
but you got
Scarlet.
but you got Thor, Captain America, like those are A
You
team.
had some, but you didn't have like you didn't have the X-Men, you didn't have Deadpool, you didn't have Spider-Man, you didn't have any of those people because they're all owned by somebody else. So like, who do we still own? And we can, make them bigger than they were in the comics. But to do it again, you know what I mean? It's like so I thought that the movie was uh it was good looking, like gorgeous movie. CG was on point, CGI was on point. Um the world building, I think they're doing a pretty good job with that. I still don't really care about uh Captain Marvel. Like her character is just very flat to me. You know what I mean? Like she's Superman again, right? Like I'm just not a big Superman guy. Like, this is Superman in MCU. It's not doing it for me. She's
How
too
did
powerful.
how did you bring in the DC hate into this one? Like,
Basically, as Captain Marvel is Superman for Marvel. I mean, she's able to go anywhere she wants to. She like nothing really impacts her. Like she went toe to toe with Thanos, which was pretty cool actually. Um, but I just, what more can you get out of that character, right? And then Ms. Marvel, like I thought that was cool bringing her from the small screen to the big screen. She's exactly the same. So you like the TV show, you might not like the movie
I did not like the TV show.
because she's just excited to be there, is what it feels like. Like you know what I mean? Like I think they're building towards something with her as well. I don't know if she's going to go back to the small screen. To be honest with you, maybe. I don't foresee what they're trying to do with the character going back to the small screen because like now the parents are even on the big movie, which I thought were hilarious. Like they played really well with Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury. They had a lot of funny dialogue back and forth. And then Photon. Uh, uh,
Monica Rambo.
yeah, I was trying like, what's her first name? Monica Rambeau. Uh, they do a little bit more with her character, but I think her TV appearances have shown more out of her than the movie, right? Like they don't really get a chance to really break down like they did in Wanda, where they're talking about a little bit more of what she does for Saber and all that good stuff, or when they're in what's the other Captain Marvel flick? Which one was the one that showed her as a child, like kind of like her
She
origin
was she
story?
was a kid. Yeah, she was a child
Yeah,
in Captain Marvel. It was her mom
right.
that she was friends with. You
Right, right,
know,
exactly. And then they brought her back. Like she was resurrected from the snap in what TV show? WandaVision, right? They show her come back from the snap.
yeah.
Like all of that was way more of character building than they gave her in the movie. So I just feel like I don't know if she needs her own movie or something like to help flesh her out a little bit. But it feels like they did the same thing with Captain Marvel. They're doing the same thing with her. It's
See, that's
like
what I
the
don't.
lore is off the screen. Like
Yeah.
it's not being built up, right?
But I don't want you to take that time to do that. So like because we have seen her in WandaVision now, like
Yeah.
I don't flesh any more out for me. Like show her
You're
powers,
good.
show
I
her
mean,
yeah,
they do show her powers. Like
yeah.
she's still figuring some of it out. But like the team ups were like spot on. The fight choreography was pretty good. The big bad made sense now that I watched the movie. Still not a Thanos type character, right? They're doing the same thing that he do with all the other B tier when they're building up to the big bad. Like they all have reasons to do what they're doing, which is kind of cool, right? They're not just evil to be evil. But then man, right? Because we're not the big bad. It's not Kang or Doctor Doom or anybody like that. Like I even I forgot her name. I think the actress was really good, but I don't remember. I barely remember Rona's name. Like I only know that because we had to figure out who he was.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of those type characters.
That's I don't know. That's kind of discouraging. And you still saying 8? You gave it an
I,
8.
I would say I'll say and because it was pretty fast paced and it was funny. So I think they did a good job. There was that there was a couple of scenes where I was just like, Shannon would be down for this, but they're very fast. They're very quick. So for you, it might be a 7, but better than Ant-Man 3, bar none. That's still the lowest rung on the well,
Dark
Thor: The Dark World.
World. Yeah, that's it. That's your
Thor: The
go-to
Dark
for
World is
bottom.
the worst.
Yeah.
And then Ant-Man 3. Um, but it's still it was fun. That's what I would say. So I would say it's a very fun movie, and it actually does pull this phase into doing something. But you got to stick around for the mid credits. So it's one of those type flicks, which was the beginning of the MCU, right? There was a lot of that. Like you had your Iron Man and whatnot, but then you had a lot of we got to wait to the post credit and like, oh, okay, I get it. So it's one of those like they're building up again. So which is better than the last phase. Like the Eternals didn't do anything for me. Like what did that do?
Yeah.
That is the Eternals might be worse than Ant-Man 3.
I don't know about
I
that.
might say Thor: The Dark
Well,
World, the Eternals, Ant-Man 3.
yeah,
Because the Eternals didn't do nothing for me.
I'd have to watch it again, but like I have not had the urge to even watch it again to be like, well, I like this better. Like, because it had a lot of slow spots in that one, man. And I was
Yeah.
just like, oh
They're
man.
turning buses into flowers. Like I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like the funniest part was my man, oh man, what's his name? The performer. So he kept playing
uh,
himself generation after generation.
yeah. Oh man.
I only remember one character name. I just remember Fastos.
I don't
Everybody
remember
else's
I don't
name
remember his
was
character name. I'm trying to remember his real name. Uh Kumani. Oh, see, I'm gonna sound racist if I try to remember it. That's what you're talking about, the Indian guy, right?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
the best part of that movie. Not
Kumal Nunjani? Is that his
I
name?
think so. I think
Oh,
I
I'm
think you're
I'm I'm gonna
close.
I don't want to look this up because I'm gonna be so racist.
Uh-oh. I don't know if you heard Alexa. I didn't say anything with an A in it. She's just over here spying. Um, I would say that yeah, that was the best part of the movie. I'm not gonna lie. Like was him performing like Angelina Jolie, don't really care. The one fight with the I don't remember any of their names. That's how bad it is. Like it just was not it was not a good movie for me. Like, sorry.
No, and even then, what's her name wasn't even in it. The leader wasn't even in it that much. Salma Hayek,
Yeah.
she wasn't in it that much, and I was just like, wow, come on, man.
Yeah, disappointing, right?
Yeah, but it is Kumal Nanjani, so I am right. K
There you
U
go.
A I L N A N J I A N I. So
Yeah, he by far was the best part of that. So if they do it again, hopefully he's the lead of the movie because action, comedy, all that good stuff. He did it all. He needs his own spinoff
so if
because
they
the
do
rest of
it
them, like the I don't know. I just can't think of another memorable character from that movie.
if they do it again, it's going to end up being I mean, the movie's been out for years, so I mean, it was an end credit scene, but it's probably going to be Silver Fox. Is that his name? Uh,
Oh yeah, where did that go? See, that's the thing. That whole phase is throw that whole phase away. Like you talking about the he's a singer in real life, right?
yeah, I think it's Harry Styles. I think
Yeah, Harry Styles. He's supposed to be
Thanos
Thanos' brother. Yeah.
is it Silver Fox or Red Fox or something like that?
I think it's Star Fox.
Star Fox. I think it's a
Yeah,
Star Fox.
just like the Nintendo character. Yep,
Yeah,
Star
Star Fox.
Fox.
Yeah. Star Fox. Yeah.
But what happened to that? Where did that even go? Right? This is a throwaway post-credit scene. Like,
And you're right. That's the second worst. I gotta give it to you now.
yeah. And then maybe it'll come back because like if I can't say it's throwaway because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 did use the post-credit scene from 2, and it took years to circle back around to that. Where they were showing Adam Warlock, which I'm not giving anything away. If you haven't seen it, it's been like 10 years or something. I don't know. It's been a long time. Sorry. But they finally got back to it. So maybe there's a chance.
Well, I
But
don't know, but that's the thing though, right? Like, are they going to invest the time in it? Like with Bob Iger saying, "Okay, we got to tighten it up now." Like, if
yeah,
that was not one of their more profitable properties, he's probably not going to put the time and the money into it. You
I
know?
wouldn't. I wouldn't. Because then there's the whole thing of what happened. Like at the end, what does it mean?
Yeah,
And how come nobody's talking about what's in the ocean?
yeah.
It bothers me to this day. It's not even real, but it bothers me. How come no one is paying attention to this? They mentioned it one time. They mentioned it in She-Hulk. In She-Hulk, they brought it up.
Did they? I don't even
It's
remember.
it was in a newspaper. A clipping that she had. She was flipping through a newspaper and they showed it.
Okay.
That is the only mention of a gigantic island-shaped man sticking out of the ocean. That's how throwaway that movie was.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sorry.
we're definitely not that bad as a world where we wouldn't notice that, right? Somebody's military, somebody's navy would have noticed that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
or it'd be a whole conspiracy. Like
uh,
birds aren't real. What's this thing in the ocean, right? Like,
the Earth is flat. All that type
right.
of.
Yeah, it would be in the whole thing. It'd be a cult centered around it. It'd be crazy. But no, this movie was better than those. So I give you that. Like I don't know if you should rush to the movie theater to see it or whatever, but when it starts to stream, I would definitely recommend checking it out.
Well, the way the ticket sales are going, I might be able to go and have a theater all to myself. You know what I
Which
mean?
is crazy because yeah, when I went, it was also empty on a holiday. I went on a holiday and it was empty. But I think the trailers didn't do any justice. I think the trailers tanked the movie. They just were showing the things that no one cared about. Because I honestly did not care. I just realized that I had a day off and I decided to go.
That's weird. Okay. You're
Yeah.
man, usually the trailers take all the best parts and put them out there and then fool you. That's weird that you say that.
I don't know. I would like to see your reaction. Like to me, it was better than the trailers. The trailers that made it believe it's gonna be a 6. I was like, I don't care about anything that's happening. I don't care about the team up per se. Um, or the big bad because they barely show the big bad. So, which the character does have reason and cause, right? So at least there's that. But again, it's a B tier uh, big bad.
So when you say they barely show the big bad, see, now I'm starting to think about Thor. Was it Love and Thunder or whatever it is? Because like
Oh,
I
with
can't
Gore,
forget his name. Yeah, Gore. Like, he wasn't in that much. You know what I mean?
he
Like,
wasn't, and they say there's a lot of missing stuff. Like the director, I forget his name. What
Taiki
TD?
Watiti, yeah.
Yeah, he says that there will probably not be a director's cut where he releases like he said there's tons of footage. He was like we cut stuff for a reason. Like if we kept all the good stuff basically. But I am interested to see because they say like he was butchering gods for real. Like we just get a tiny bit of that. He said they have like uh old girl from Game of Thrones. She played the big bad in that one. I forget her name off the top of my head, but the one where she still can't go out in public because people hate her that much. She was the mom in the Game of Thrones. She had the incestuous romance with her brother.
Cersei.
Yeah, Cersei, there it is. Cersei, she's on the cutting room floor. Like they have like
Really?
characters like that. Yeah, they just cut because it was just too big of a movie.
See, and that makes me sad because I didn't think the movie was that great, and it seems like more of that would have been what I wanted to see. Is
Yeah,
him.
and they like you don't really get to see where Lady Thor comes from, but like that's on the cutting room floor too. So it was filmed. It wasn't all the CG wasn't finished because they cut it pretty early on. But they had, that was in the movie too. They cut it out.
See, now I'm like some of these directors, like
But
they're
there's
just.
goats. The screaming
Uh,
goats everywhere. He kept that.
uh, I don't know, man. See, now that some of these directors, I think they're just feeling themselves on what they're trying to be too artistic, right? Like, you know what you're doing, you know what you're shooting. Give us more of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to film Shakespeare with a comic book. and I'm like, I don't want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 pretty much. But I don't know how we got on this. Oh, the Marvels. I would if you're interested, I would say check it out. I would give it an 8, but I mean it's probably B minus. I guess you got to give it a letter grade.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, should I take the family? Should I take the young ones out or no? Is PG-13?
It's PG-13. I think they drop like one curse word in that whole thing, and
Cuss,
then
the cuss words are usually mild on that. You get one or
yeah,
usually
I
like
didn't see anything that was too violent
uh,
per se. At least not to any people.
yeah, yeah. See, and that's the thing is that my daughter, my youngest daughter, she'll probably be up in the aisles trying to walk around and whatnot. Like,
Got you.
you know what I mean? It's like if I'm sitting there like, oh, this is nothing like that. Where's the action? Like she's up and like walking within her space, like where her chair is. I'm trying to
Right.
remember what movie it was I took her to. I was like, oh, she'll like this. And she was like, nope. She got down out of her chair. She wasn't like, I wasn't letting her, like, I don't let my children just walk up and down the aisle
Right. Right.
in our space. But she was like, no, I'm not feeling it. I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah. There might be so there is something. I don't know if it will make your kids uneasy or whatever. Like I won't give anything away. So I tell you offline.
I got you.
You
Yeah.
offline. But it just for kids, because like I scared my daughter forever. The first Hulk movie where he's transforming, strapped to the table, like that threw. She was messed up for a week. Like she didn't like the body disformation. She still talks about it today. She was like, "Mary, you made me watch that movie." I was like, "I didn't. I had it on. And you walked by. I didn't make you watch it." She was unsettled for like a week. She did not like that. So everybody got to.
She's almost an adult now, Ryan. Like, like that must be really
I
bad.
scoured her
I don't
with
remember it being that bad.
what was his name? The original oh man, he played
So
American History X.
well, that's not the original one.
Norton.
You're talking about Edward. You're talking about Edward Norton.
Yeah, the
You're talking about
original.
Eric
I
Bana.
guess that's not even the original MCU movie, is it?
Eric Bana is.
Right, right. But I mean,
Oh,
like in this current generation, because it's Mark Ruffalo, but before him was Edward Norton.
yes, but that one was not in that first phase because it came before Iron Man, right? So they didn't include that one in.
Right.
They brought General Ross in from that one, right? Because that was
Yeah.
the same guy. They brought General Ross in um into that.
And yeah, and Abomination. So it's like halfway canon. Is everything but Edward Norton basically
Yeah.
was able to get pulled over? Because they even have the female love interest. She was in What If? That's her voice. So
Is
they
it?
pulled everybody. Yeah, they pulled everybody except for Edward Norton.
Because he was, if I remember correctly, he was dogging it. Like he didn't like the final product. He wanted more say in it.
Well,
Like,
so in his other movies, he's able to change the script at will, and they're like, "No, you're not. This is a Marvel joint. You don't do that here." So they had to get rid of him.
yeah, he's probably feeling himself. There's some of them actors like they think they know better than they do.
Yeah.
Look, they're like those directors I was talking about, right? Like they want to make Shakespeare out of Hulk. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
let him tell it. He'd have been holding a skull, reciting poetry. It's the Hulk, and it'd have been like, this is dumb. Get out of here.
Right. Right. But yeah, that still messes her up to this day. Still messes her up.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, So what else did I want to bring up? Because I wanted to talk about the Marvels, which I believe was because I was dogging it last time we talked. So I was like, I definitely want to come back and be like that. It was not bad. It's just this world they're building up again. You got to give them a. I guess you got to give them time. I don't want to build up for 10 years though. Let's just hurry up and get to it. Let's get there. They only got one movie next year. Hopefully, Deadpool 3 solves a lot of this, and then they can move on to 2025. Um, and drop a couple bangers, hopefully. Um, we'll see though. Like, because I was reading a bunch of articles, like the whole, like, are they going to stick with Jonathan Majors? Are they going to switch out him for a different character? Or like, it's a lot happening right now. So I think that's why the movie slate shifted to let this trial happen, which is this month.
So they better be careful because they might be leaving that slot in there for James Gunn to come in and be like, we're not dead yet. You know what I mean? For any of you college
That's
football,
true. It's
be
true.
like Lee
Uh,
Corso, not so fast, my friend. You know what I mean? That could be what DC is doing.
That's very true. Show weakness. Hopefully he does a good job, man. I wasn't feeling Blue Beetle, but that wasn't his. but a lot of people do like it. So I mean, but he did do a bunch of off-brand like Brightburn. I enjoyed. There was another one that he directed that was a superhero type flick, and I was just like, that's not bad. So if he brings some of that into the, because DC is darker than Marvel, so
for sure.
they lean into that maybe. But we'll see. We'll see. They're still out here casting the Superman flick. Like, hurry up and start directing that. Um, oh, it was the other thing was daylight savings time. Like I know we're far off from it. I know it's already happened. But remember, I was like a couple weeks ago, I was complaining, it's the dumbest thing ever. Why do
Yeah,
we still practice this?
yeah.
Like today, it got so dark so quick. Why we still practice this? Why is it still a thing? I lived in Turkey for 2 years, and guess what? I did not miss daylight savings time because they don't do it there.
Right.
It's so dumb. Because yeah, it's dark as hell. Like, what is happening? Why are we still do this? Like the only people who enjoy this are people who are at the club when time rolls back, gives them extra hour at club time. That's it. That's the only people who enjoy it. Farmers don't need it. We don't need it. We can figure this out. I used to hate calling back to the States. Like, because it would be so the time would shift. Like I wouldn't shift, but everybody else would shift. And then when I used to go to Germany, they do it, but they do it at a different time. Their daylight savings time because of their position in the world. So like we would shift here in the States. And that was in Germany, didn't shift, so that messes me up. And then finally Germany shifts, that messes me up again. Just the whole world needs to stop. It needs to end.
I know in the US they were talking about it, but I haven't heard much about it. That was a
They're talking
while.
about it while I was gone. I was like, oh, by the time I get back to the States, they will have fixed it. They will have stopped. We'll flip one more time. We're done.
Which if they would have passed it, this last one that just went by in November was going to be the last one, and then they were like, okay, this is where we're at.
Who 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 demanded that we keep it?
I don't know.
Who said this?
I don't know. Yeah,
I hate it.
yeah, I don't get the purpose either, but yeah, I'm
Hate it.
not.
Hate it with passion.
I'm not a politician to be able to just say we don't do this anymore. So,
I'm anti daylight savings time. I said it.
mm,
Put my
mm,
foot down. I'm down this hill.
mm.
Sick of it.
There is nobody to oppose you on this. Like you're like
It's my
I am against
platform.
this. I'm against this. Everybody else is like, yeah, me too. Like, it's like
Like,
we
why is
have
he so passionate?
no
Like,
enemies on this.
the dumbest thing ever. But game wise, I picked up Tears of the Kingdom, start playing it again.
How did
No
it?
idea where I'm at and what I'm doing. I'm in a cave. I don't know why I'm there. I don't know what my plan was. I'm in a cave with no supplies. Like like what was I doing? I was just splunking and gave this quit. I stopped playing for like 4 months. So I just gotta go back and resupply and then figure back out.
Oh man.
I don't know.
And I don't want to pick up Horizon either because I'm like, man, I'll forget the controls. Like, I'm to a point where it's going to be harder. Like, if I'm at the end, like, it's going to be harder and there's going to be stuff I don't remember. You know what I mean? And it's
Right,
like, oh man,
right.
how did I do this again? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But no, I just wanted to bring up a few of the topics we had left. We left those on the editing floor, right? So I just want to pick some of those things back up, especially daylight savings time. I hope you stuck around for that one. I want somebody to leave a comment where they justify daylight savings time for me. But no, I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, episode 500. So hopefully, to 500 more. We have a little bit of a spike. So hopefully that stays right. Like because before we it was like a crazy spike. Like we're up like 4 times our normal viewership. Uh, and then it came back down a little bit, back to almost regular. We picked up a few people in that spike, but now we're doing it again. I don't know what's causing it, but thank you, appreciate you. We're like 2.5 times what we normally do. So, just keep it going. Again, thank you for everybody who's tuned in, who's been with us for a while. Um, Definitely, if you have not reached out, leave us feedback, comments, please do that as well. Or if you like to potentially be on the show, can't guarantee it, right? I gotta vet you, make sure you're not crazy first. Uh, there's some wild people out there, so make sure you don't waste our time because we're not live. So I mean, if you do waste our time, I won't air it. So it is what it is. You wasted your time.
You're too honest. Look, behind the scenes, you're being too honest right now, which leads me to believe it's close to bedtime for you. Usually we do this in the morning, everybody. So he's just getting up, has some coffee, he's well rested. Like now it's like the truth bombs come out now. like it must be close to bedtime over there, man. Because you're like, oh yo, I just want to put it on. Just so you know.
Because it's so dark for no reason.
Daylight savings time did this. This is why we don't need it.
It makes me angry.
It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde at you. Like,
Right.
stuff.
Oh, throw me off, man. But no, but in all seriousness, yeah, this keeps leaving us your feedback. Greatly appreciated. Shannon over there. Yeah, let's do another 500 of these.
Your hate is so much for it. I'm sorry. You're just like, Ryan, we're old enough to where we've gone through this for years, man.
I never liked it. I just never liked it. Like, especially out in Alaska, it was all types of jacked up in Alaska because it just for position. So when I was up there, I don't remember if we actually did daylight savings time or not because it's so jacked up. Um, but and I promise we'll land the plane shortly. But again, with my oldest, right? So Ayana was born in our first duty station, Idaho. So when we got to Alaska, she was like 5 or so, right? She's cognizant, she's aware, all that good stuff. We moved to Virginia, where we met you and the missus, and she was messed up for like a good 2 weeks, like because we had left when it was daytime. So it was daytime for like 20 hours a day is when was it all daytime or was it all nighttime? When did we leave? We left in November. So that would have been all it's dark most of the day. So it really threw her off seeing the sun rise and set every day. She was like, what is happening? Like why is the sun doing that? It was just like it took me like a good 30 seconds. I just kind of stared at her like, what's she talking about? And I was like, oh yeah, because like she's used to it being 20 hours a day and then slowly turning to 20 hours a night and then flipping back, right? Like that's her memories of how the sun is supposed to work. And you move back to the station like, well, something's not right here.
It's different in the lower 48,
It's
you know.
flipping too fast.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah, man. But yeah, definitely continue to tune in, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I said, for the rest of the week, we're gonna do throwbacks and go back through the archives, find things I've not already repeated or shared, try to be kind of on brand or on topic. Um, I like pulling up the interviews from the past as well, so I'm trying to mix some of those in there. But yeah, definitely check us out. Continue to tune in, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. I always forget to say, and keep these numbers going up. We greatly appreciate it. So hit up the website. That goes by the name on several social media platforms. Primarily LinkedIn is where I capture a lot of the audience, and then you can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. Stay safe, stay secure.